everyone. How are you? How is my collective doing on this Wednesday, December 7th? Speaking of December 7th, do you guys know what today is? Today there is a full moon in the sign of Gemini. So with that being said, well, first and foremost, welcome back to my channel, Meaningful Intuitive Guided Tarot. So I am returning to give you the collective all signs your weekly reading. Now, I am purposely did not come to you guys to start off your reading from Monday because I knew about this full moon, which means that, as I have previously stated, that anytime that there is a retrograde energy, an effect, or there is a moon phase, whether it be a new moon or a full moon phase, that I normally will not do a reading for you guys, especially if those energies are falling within the same week, just like it is for this week. So I didn't want to come in on Monday to give you a reading for the week and then come back in to give you the reading under this full moon, because I just don't want the reading, whatever that would have come out, I didn't want it to clash or to be clashing in with the messages that you will be getting for today. And I always feel that I would want to always, then any other reading that I give you, that I always kind of like to do readings for you guys, excuse me, when there is a full moon in effect in that week. So I am purposely waited until today to give you your reading. So with that being said, that means that I will officially record your reading starting from today, December 7th, until the next week Wednesday, whichever that is. I'm not sure if that will be the 13th or the 14th, but it will extend from today into the next week. All right. So with that being said, guys, let us proceed with this reading. Before we get into your reading, as always kind of like to give you guys just a quick overview of what these moon phases is about and what you can kind of expect. Okay, so with that being said, let's get right into what the full moon in Gemini is all about. So right off the bat, the overall energy message under this Gemini moon is for you to go for your goals. That is really what the message is all about for everyone, for all signs. Okay, so let's see how this full moon, which is also called a cold moon, will impact all your signs astrologically. Now, for those of you that might be curious as to, because you might have seen online or you might see on other platforms and other videos, or you just might see online that it's also referred to as a cold moon. And what does that mean? Basically, it's an acknowledgement from the Farmer's Almanac, the naming of these full moons that originate from the Native Americans or colonial Americans suggests that they just recognizes the weather that often accompanies the time of the year that these full moons or these phase moons come into play. So particularly with this one, because it is kind of approaching near the winter time, then it's just an acknowledgement of it, and so they typically just gave it the name the cold moon. Okay, so, and that would be just like with the strawberry moon phase that we have. It would be like the blue moon or the harvest moon, which also you have heard of those, and generally those have taken place like around the spring, around the summer. So it's just an acknowledgement again from the Farmer's Almanac that they are just recognizing the weather in which it's taking place, that these phase or these moon phases are coming into play. All right, so that's what that means. So now into understanding how this Gemini moon will affect you and what it's really about. So really, the full moon in Gemini will end your story that began during the new moon in Gemini on June 10th of last year, 2021, which means that it has completed a full lunar cycle. So when we had a new moon last year, on June 10th, that was the new moon in Gemini. So from that point to now, it has completed a full lunar cycle, which means that you are or have come to understand your path in life and subsequently beginning to make plans for the future while modifying your goals accordingly. So the dreams you had last year or even last month, it's changing and evolving at rapid speed into something different or even bigger than we originally thought. So this particular full moon is giving us the push, not the pull. We need to express our needs and evaluate our emotions through logic as we progress to a highly spiritual place within ourselves. We need this push because of this full moon is in aspects with a Mars retrograde. And with this retrograde aligning with the Gemini moon, we will want to make moves and take action towards transforming and developing our present and future ambitions in an effort to attain our aspirations. So because of other planetary influences going on, because we also have, I believe, Saturn, we also have Mercury and other planetary influences that is also kind of intertwined with this, then with that being said, then because of those influences intertwining with today's Gemini moon, no matter what happens, it's important to believe in yourself. So depending on how these energies will shift and how they will impact our lives, no matter what happened, the overall thing that we need to remember is to believe in ourself. Do not give up in your dreams or on your dreams or your goals, and don't let obstacles stand in your way of creating the life you desire. So as long as you have that in mind, if and when you are dealing with something that is kind of like a shake or something that is unexpected, also know that with retrogrades, that also means that there could also be like the technical aspects of things that's going wrong. There could be glitches. There also could be tensions that arise with people around you, whether it be with family, with loved ones, arguments, things of that nature. So when those things happen, the best thing to do is to just move away, take a deep breath, go for a walk, find ways to eliminate any type of unnecessary arguments, any type of unnecessary communications that you might have with people, because then it would only knock you off your focus moving ahead. All right. And I know it might be easy said than done, but generally, anytime we do have that influence of a retrograde that does aspect and kind of intertwines with any moon phases, then generally it kind of puts more intensity into the energy that is going on at that time. And so the best thing to do is, like I said, to just kind of just take a deep breath, be silent, and get back to focusing on the real purpose and the meaning behind this phase is about us, about your goals, and about your dreams coming to fruition. All right. So if you do that, you would be good. All right, guys. So that ends the overview of what this full moon in Gemini will be about. And so now we are going to move on to your individualized elemental readings. And of course, we're going to start off with the air signs because Gemini is an air sign. So with that being said, be back momentarily with the Gemini reading.